Everybody, how's it going? It's me, Logan, aka Suburban Yinzer. Right now I'm down here at the borough of Canonsburg in Washington County, Pennsylvania. So, to give a wee bit of history and background about the early settlement and foundation of Canonsburg. So, Canonsburg was laid out by Colonel John Cannon, 1726 to 1798 and 1789, and was incorporated as a town in 1802. The town lies in a rich coal district, and most of the town's workforce used to work in local steel mills and coal mines. The town is home to Sarah's Candies, established in 1960, and All-Clad Metal Crafters, established in 1971. Canonsburg holds the second biggest 4th of July parade in Pennsylvania. The number one biggest 4th of July parade in Pennsylvania is in Philadelphia. Sometime prior to 1780, Colonel John Cannon, a common miller who served as justice of the Virginia courts at Fort Pitt, purchased some land around Chartiers Creek from the state of Virginia. Virginia had claims in what is now southwestern Pennsylvania, and Virginia and Pennsylvania fought over these claims of this region from the 1770s to the 1780s and prior. So this region that we're here in southwestern Pennsylvania, which is currently Canonsburg in Washington County, was debated and fought over by Virginia, the colonies of Virginia and Pennsylvania, even prior to the American Revolution, going into the French and Indian War. So before the French and Indian War, Virginia was trying to push its claims up here and trying to kick the French out of the Ohio country. That is why they sent a young 21-year-old George Washington to survey this region, survey the Ohio country and the Three Rivers, to be able to claim it for the colony of Virginia, which would have been under the British Empire. So, to go further, in 1781, so going to the end of the American Revolution, Pennsylvania carved Washington County out of Westmoreland County. The notes of the first session of the Washington County Court in 1781 called for a road to connect from Cannon's Mill to Pittsburgh. The road to Pittsburgh was called Pitch Street. Lots were sold around Cannon's property, and the emerging town took the name Canonsburg thereafter. So the reason why it was called Canonsburg is Burg is a very prominent name and a very prominent thing to call a town or a settlement, especially in Pennsylvania, because of the prominence of the Germans or the German-speaking peoples. So Burg, B-U-R-G, they took it from John Cannon's name, Cannon, and added Burg. So Canonsburg, his town that he settled and founded. To give a little background about John Cannon, the founder of Canonsburg, he was one of the first settlers of the Ohio River, or the Chartiers Valley, a tributary of the Ohio River, of the Ohio country. He worked as a rent collector of George Washington, who owned a large amount of land in the area. On November 30th, 1786, George Washington appointed John Cannon power of attorney as his agent for the management of Washington's property on Miller's Run in Washington County. In 1773, John Cannon acquired 12 acres of land along the Chartiers Creek on the Catfish Path, where he built a grist mill and started a farm. He was appointed by Lord Dunmore to serve as judge of Augusta County, Virginia. So as you can see, Virginia is pushing its claims up here in southwestern Pennsylvania. That's why John Cannon had such prominence and such status as a Virginian. He would be probably considered a subject of the colony of Virginia prior to the American Revolution into the 1770s. After the border dispute between Pennsylvania and Virginia, the area was placed in Yohogania County, Virginia, which was established in 1776, the founding of the United States, but ceased to exist by the 1780s once Pennsylvania won its claims and was able to establish itself as this region as Pennsylvania. In 1775, he was appointed colonel in the Washington County Militia, which at the time was probably designated as the Yohogania County Militia under Virginia. And he served in the American Revolution and served in many Indian expeditions, including the Crawford expedition in May and June 1782, which was a campaign led by Colonel William Crawford. And William Crawford was an experienced officer in the Virginia militia with Washington from the French Indian War to the American Revolution. And also Crawford was a friend of Washington's. John Cannon was a member of the Board of Trustees of Washington Academy that would eventually merge with the institution he helped found from 1789 to his death in 1798. In 1791, Canonsburg Academy, which was later established as Washington and Jefferson College, which is in present-day Washington, Pennsylvania. So that was just a wee bit of background of the early founding and the early establishment of Canonsburg and this region predominantly consisting of Washington County, Pennsylvania. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this. Peace.